All right. Hey, we're live. I'm gonna send you guys the link right now. Uh, thanks for tuning in. I'm sending y'all to the link. So if you want to send the link, we're live on my channel, and you guys can do that. But we're live, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll let some of the viewers come on in. We're gonna do about a 15-minute to 20-minute breakdown of the Kentucky Derby now that we have the post positions revealed. And let me just say off the bat, I was watching the post position show, which was live on the Kentucky Derby YouTube channel, and man, that was pretty cool to watch. And I don't know, right before they announced the post position for Rock Your World, I had like a random thought in my head. They're gonna make him number 15, and that's my number. So already some good omens coming into this one. I got my two co-hosts for this show, Uncle Dave in the building. What's up, Uncle Dave?
What's going on? It's like Christmas over here. Kentucky Derby.
Let's get it. And we got the prime time capper himself, Pop DiBiase in the building. Pop, shout out your social media, man. He also does his own horse racing show.
We're live.
You guys can catch me over at on the Twitter at Pop DBIC. You guys can also follow my YouTube over at Prime Wave Media as well too. We got the show going Friday through Sunday as well. Actually, really Thursday through Saturday, but I'll replay the day of episode and everything like that for you guys. But horsing around, you guys can catch that on the Prime Wave Media YouTube channel as well too, and you guys can catch it on the Primetime Angles show on the Facebook as well. So you guys tune in, and I got the daily show, the Primetime Angles live, and we pretty much cover everything in the world of sports, and it's all about getting that good bet in, man. So you guys tune in if you guys like making money. That's all I got to say.
Most definitely. And we had a show last week. I posted it yesterday. It's got some good views, and enough viewers are tuning into our opinion, guys. So let's make this show a good one. Let's start it off. The Uncle Dave, what was your immediate reaction to the post position draw? Just your biggest takeaways, and then Pop, same question.
Okay, so this is the way I feel about it. You know, these are 3-year-olds. This is the way the Kentucky Derby always is. These are 3-year-olds are going to go farther than any they've ever gone in their life. So that alone makes it uncharted waters. But when you're talking about this draw and this starting gate, we're about to stuff 20 horses into a contraption, and I don't think that's ever been done before. This is the first time a single contraption we're about to stuff 20 horses in there, and I don't think anybody really knows what's going on. Because last year in the Kentucky Derby was the first time we used this gate, and there were only 15 horses. And so
great point, Dave, Uncle Dave. You know, this is a different gate. They're not going to have the auxiliary gate, which is the extra 5 post positions on the outside that they had to connect to make this Derby run the last, few decades, right? So, Pop, what do you make of the new gate, and what were some of your biggest takeaways from the post draw?
I just thought it was crazy how you're going to put two of the top horses right next to each other in such an outside post, but I think that it just makes for more drama, and I think horses that got a good shake in a sense were horses like Medina Spirit, High Rod Charlie, and their post positions, because they're somewhere in the middle of that group. And so they can, if you look at the break, the way that the break happens is like we talked about earlier. I don't mean to, kind of steal from what you were talking about, but Medina Spirit may have a great chance of breaking much better earlier now since he's in the 8 hole. But, I just really think that once we get to the stretch, the horses that are supposed to be there are going to be there. So the pole position is very important, but I think these horses are so talented that it won't make a difference at the end of the day, in my opinion.
Great take. And Pop, we went over some text. I've talked to my Uncle Dave about this. I think that Medina Spirit's going to play a role in the pace, at least until the first turn. And whether he's going to be there at the end remains to be seen. But I do think he plays a scenario in this pace early. Uncle Dave, what are some of your preliminary predictions going into this one as we got Boo Boo coming in the building.
Hey, so the pace is going to be wild. But first of all, we don't get any pace in the first 7 posts. That's the first thing to say. And so Medina Spirit may be the first one. While Medina Spirit breaks from the 8th post, he might be the most inside speed, and therefore, if he does decide to go to the front, which I think he probably should, he could keep those horses out pretty wide if he wants to, and he could be the closest to the rail when they reach the first turn.
Most definitely. Let me just go through the field real quick. We got Known Agenda at the 1 post. Like the King is number 2. Number 3, Brooklyn Strong. Number 4, Keep Me in Mind. The 5 is Sainthood. Number 6 is Obesos. Number 7, Mandaloon. Number 8, Medina Spirit, a local West Coast Santa Anita horse. Number 9, Hot Rod Charlie, winner of the Louisiana Derby. Midnight Bourbon gets Hall of Famer Mike Smith aboard, who won from that post with Giacomo in 2005. Number 11 is Dynamic One. The 12 is Helium with Julian Leperoux. 13, Hidden Stash. I believe Bejarano's on him. Number 14, Essential Quality, the favorite at 2-1. Number 15, Rock Your World. That's our dog in the race. Number 16, King Fury. Number 17, Highly Motivated. Number 18 is Superstock, winner of the Arkansas Derby. And number 19, Soup and Sandwich, a horse that Uncle Dave likes. Right now, 30-1. Bourbonic completes the field from post 20. He's also 30-1. Here we go, Pop. What are some of the things you also want to make mention of after learning the post? And let's start breaking it down, man, because I'm about to reveal. I got a pace projector poster that I've made, so I'm going to break down how I really feel this race is going to actually go. So go ahead, Pop, take it away.
You know what? And I know this is kind of off a little bit, but you know who wins the beauty contest in this race? And I got a good look at him today. Obesos is a pretty looking horse, dude. Seriously. Obesos. You see that coat on that horse, you tell yourself, damn, that's a good looking horse. He's going to be good and stud, man. But I like the 20-1 on Obesos. I think that I had to find myself a shot because I like to play the super high 5. So I think I'm going to slide him on in there because, the horse looks really good coming into this one, man. He's real confident, laid back. He's not acting up or anything like that. I don't like to see horses acting up during the weekend. We had a few acting up that from what I saw, but all in all, though, I look at everything and say to myself that as we get closer to the race, you start really being able to pick and choose exactly who is going to be there. And I know that you got the pace projections and everything like that, but it just feels like the usual suspects are going to be there. And, as we talked about before, if you're thinking of like how Baffert's thinking, you want Medina Spirit to get out on the front and get brave in this race. You truly definitely in Baffert fashion, you know what I mean? So I think that's something that's going to be key. And let's see, because if he hits the front, we all going to have to kind of back a little bit and hope he gets caught because you know how it goes with these.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Pop. You never know, man. If he makes the lead, he gets on the rail. John Velasquez is going to keep him up there. I think Medina Spirit's a live dog pace, based on the post position and the pace. And I'm just going to throw this out there, and then we'll hand it over to my Uncle Dave. A horse to really consider, a big long shot who just made the Derby field. Number 3, Brooklyn Strong. He got into the field after numerous horses dropped out. So he gets the call. He draws post 3. And he also gets the services of one of the hottest West Coast jockeys that's under the radar right now. And he was also the winner of the Santa Anita Derby on Rock Your World. And that's Umberto Rispoli on number 3, 50-1. Brooklyn Strong, the winner of the Ramson at Aqueduct. And guess who he beat in that race, Theo Dave? He beat Known Agenda by about 5-6 lengths. Now, granted, it was sloppy. He came back to have a lackluster performance in the Wood Memorial, but I didn't think he got the best trip on that race. And at the top of the stretch, he had an opportunity to stay on that rail and split into that seam, but he seemed like he shied away. If he gets another opportunity, I think Rispoli's going to guide him away from the rail and try to rally from the outside somehow. So I think it's a live long shot. What you got, Thee?
Oh, I definitely, I'm one of them superfecta players also. I definitely going to play some long shots and and I don't know, when I conform a superfecta, I like to take one from the pace and one from just off the pace, and then the rest of them I like to take from the back, you know, because what happens in the Derby especially is that these pace horses wear each other down, and then only one or two may survive, you know. Usually it's just one. But and so that you have to have some that come from the back, and I'm looking for those horses that are gonna have that improving pattern. You know, it's really interesting because if you're looking at that, there are a few that are closing with that improving pattern, and you know, there's Obesos is a good long shot that I may throw in there, and Known Agenda is a tough horse. And a fighter, and he's not going to be on the pace, so he's got to be somebody that we have to think about. But that's kind of the way I build my trifecta. I can't take all speed horses, you know.
For sure. So I'm going to throw this up there, and then we'll move on to some of Pop's takes. I don't know if you guys could see this. Let me get in the screen here. So my Uncle Dave taught me how to, and my grandpa taught me how to chart the race in terms of how the horses have projected on the racing form, and whether they're up along the pace, behind the pace, and based on their buyer number and where they map out in their past races, we get a figure, and basically we type the horses, and if I turn it over this way, I have the whole list of 20 horses typed with a number. The lower the number, if it's a low number, it means they're more on the pace. So if it's a 1, he's leading the pace. If it's a 2, he's just off the pace. 3, mid pack. 4, deep close. 5, way back. So that's just a general way to type the horses based on the DRF racing form. So I don't know if you guys could see, it's very tough, but this is how these horses will break. Okay, if you guys can see here, I have it projected that Medina Spirit, the 8 right here, is going to have an opportunity to get into the front, at least heading into that first turn. If he gets over to the rail, he's going to have a good spot. Number 10 is also going to run up there with him. That's Midnight Bourbon and Mike Smith. I have Hot Rod Charlie going with both those horses, but I think he's a little bit less quick than Medina Spirit. As we saw in the Bob Lewis, which I told both of you guys, Medina Spirit was on the lead in that race, and Hot Rod Charlie was mid-pack, at least 3 lengths off of him. So I think Medina Spirit's quicker from these guys. Now outside, we look at all these horses. The 17 is highly motivated. He can drop back or he could go. We don't know what he's going to do, so I have this arrow here. He's versatile. But we know Rock Your World is going to be up there. And I have 3 Path right here because that's my pick, guys. And the winner of the Derby is all in the last few races, the last 10 charted races. The winner usually comes from that 3 Path horse up along the pace as a 2 or a 3 type. So, or more of a 2 type, more of a 2 and a 1 type. So that's my pick right there, which is Rock Your World, obviously. But we got Soup and Sandwich out here, which I know Uncle Dave likes a lot. What's your takeaways from what you got here, Pop? What do you think about my pace projector?
I think it's looks really good, and I think you're on to something with the break between Midnight Bourbon and Medina Spirit, because whoever breaks the best out those two is going to get the front. And you know, Midnight Bourbon, if he doesn't lose the Louisiana Derby, he gets a little bit more hype coming into this race. And Hot Rod Charlie might not be in this race if he doesn't win that Louisiana Derby as well too. So pretty much, you know, you see the difference in what's going on. And I saw something that they were talking about the Oaks. I know the Oaks is something totally different, but they mentioned one horse being 15-1 and another horse being 5-2. And sometimes the odds makers are just throwing odds out there because of the horse's resume. But I think Midnight Bourbon does deserve a little bit more respect because he was the heavy favorite in that race as well too, the Louisiana Derby. So he's coming in here at 20-1. He got Mike Smith, and that's one thing Mike Smith always loves to do with a horse that's a price horse is hit that front end and not look back. But we'll see how it goes. But I think whoever breaks the best between the 8 and the 10 will play up to your projection right there and get this thing started to where they'll have the big speed. But I think that if they hit it 21 and change, 22 and change, that first quarter, then that just opens it up for Essential Quality and for Rock Your World to, be right there on the stretch to get their match race on. So, I think that we're going to have some fighters here, but I think that it's all about the break between the 8 and the 10, which is going to dictate how the race is going to go, in my opinion.
For sure. Uncle Dave, what do you think about this outside projection here? And how do you think this works in relation to your horse, Soup and Sandwich, which is the number 19, the widest speed horse in this field?
Well, I do like two speed horses that I really, really like are the 15 and the 19. I like both of them. I don't want to overlook the Santa Anita Derby winner. But last year's Kentucky Derby, which is the only time we've ever broken from this contraption, the widest horse in the race won. And a lot of times people put that down by being the widest horse in the race. But by being out there, they don't get mixed up in a lot of the shuffling that goes on. And in the end, it's going to be about training and getting a distance that you've never got before. And are you still running after 1 mile and an eighth? Because, last year's winner was 7 wide in the first turn and never got on the rail. He was on the 3 path or the 4 path. And that's the way he went all the way around the track. So I don't know if past his prologue, then I think we got to give some consideration to the outside post. But I do agree with Pop in that in the end, what's going to matter is what you have in the stretch and what kind of horse you are. And this kind of separates the true champions and those people that have just been shuffling around. So, but if I have to pick those speed horses, I like the Santa Anita Derby winner because he was going away and had a lot of run after 1 mile and an eighth. And I like Soup and Sandwich because he was green. It was only 3 starts for him. And if he could change his lead into the stretch, I think he'll have some more fight. And so those are the 2 speed picks that I like.
So Uncle Dave likes number 15, Rock Your World, number 19, Soup and Sandwich. The other speed horse out there could be highly motivated. Pop, how do you think Essential Quality breaks in relation to Rock Your World? And where do you see Essential Quality heading into that first turn and then down the backstretch?
I think Essential Quality will be right there in the mix when we break, because the way that the horse is programmed, he's programmed to be right there. You know what I mean? And he doesn't care what hole he's coming from. He knows what to do. Chase the rabbit to get to the front. And I think that he'll be right there, sitting on the outside when you get around that corner, and then he'll figure out a way to get himself somewhat by that rail. It all depends on how Louis Saez wants to ride the horse. You know what I mean? Because Louis is, we're overlooking the fact that Louis is a hell of a jockey as well, too. That's one of the top 5 jockeys in the group. And if he was a West Coast jockey, I would think that he would win the Santa Anita or in Del Mar every time out, because that's how good he is. But he's in the competition. He's in that competitive field of Rosario and the Ortiz brothers and Javier Castellano. So he's going to dig in, and he knows exactly what he has to do with Essential Quality, because he knows he has the horse. That's what they're going to be saying coming in Saturday. That horse is going to be getting the pageantry, because the thing is, his resume is up there with legends. And I think Essential Quality, he'll be at home. He hasn't ran at Churchill yet, but he's used to running in Kentucky. And he got a big win there in the Bluegrass. So he's ready to turn it back around here at Churchill. He's rested, and I think Brad Cox is going to have him ready to fire immediately.
Brad Cox still looking for his first Kentucky Derby victory, and so is Sadler, the trainer of Rock Your World. So they would be doing something that's never been done. And what you got, Uncle Dave? Let's start breaking it down. I'm going to go ahead and throw out a couple ideas. it's so hard to, win in the Kentucky Derby. It's a very unpredictable race, and the more exotics you're going to play, the tougher it's going to get. So a trifecta, a superfecta, those are going to be tough, right? How about just trying to hit an exacta? You know what I'm saying? And if I'm going to play exacta, I'm going to play number 15. And I like super stock, which I believe is number 18. So I'm going to play 15, 18, and I'm going to throw in Brooklyn Strong out there. Number 3, number 15, and number 18, I'm going to box it. So that's only one of the plethora of exactas and exotics I'm going to play. What you got, Uncle Dave?
Well, I do like that super stock. He's got an improving pattern. He won his last race by a few lengths, which means you could wrap him up at the end. And
he's on the outside. He's not going to be in too much traffic. There's a lot of speed out there. He might just be able to be in the clear for the most part if his jockey, Ricardo Santana, could guide him right. What do you think?
Yeah, so I do agree. I do like that super stock. But since you picked them, and I only get to pick 3 horses, I do like them, and I'm gonna play them in my exotics. But if we're playing in a 3-horse exacta, I'm gonna put Super Sandwich, and I'm gonna put Essential Quality, because he can go anywhere. He could go fast if he has to. He could relax in the mid pack, and his versatility is going to be very valuable in this Derby. And then I'm going to throw in another outside horse who's closing and improving, and that's Bourbonic with
with Carmouche.
That's right. So that's a
okay.
little
That's a longie right there.
That's a longie. You got to have a longie in there.
Number 20, Bourbonic, 30-1. What you got, Pop?
All right, I'm just gonna be real simple here. I'll probably, if you tell me a trifecta and I only got 3 horses, give me the 8, the 14, and the 15. And I'll say put a $10, and I would put a $10 wager on it just because on the box and make it a nice little, have some little fun right there. $60 wager and see what we can do with that.
Okay, Pop, I see you.
Nice. Yeah. If you hit, because see, when you got 3 horses that are considered the top horses in the race and they show up, why not put some big money on that? But if I was to say, okay, give me 2 of them dogs real quick or 3 of them dogs, I'll say, okay, give me Obesos. You can go ahead and give me your horse, Brooklyn Strong, just simply because you're bringing the element in there. And then I throw a Midnight Bourbon because the Mike Smith element, and that's what we would call a fun bet. And I say you put a $1 exacta bet on that one and just call it a day with that one. But if you want to go for the big bucks, I would say put that $10 wager, put that $60 down, go 8, 14, 15.
8, 14, 15.
Yeah,
so you think Medina okay, yeah, Pop, that's a sub. I like it. That's a pretty progressive pick.
Right. I just can't deny him, man, because he's ran against both. You know what I mean? He's won against both of these horses.
I didn't think he ran his best race in this last race either.
Because you got to understand how Baffert rose. Baffert put that horse out there on somewhat of a warm-up. The ownership group had already decided if everything goes well and he's sound coming out of the San Antonio Derby, we're going to take him to Kentucky because they used the Bob Lewis Stakes as the measuring stick of what they were going to do with Medina Spirit.
And High Rod Charlie couldn't get him. He couldn't pass him in that stretch.
Right, exactly. So that's why High Rod Charlie had to go elsewhere and had to go out of state and go get his. You feel what I'm saying? So
yeah, and I think that Louisiana Derby field wasn't the best field. I don't think it was a strong field.
Right. You're exactly right about that. And Midnight Bourbon was the hometown hero, you know what I mean? And he's a big horse, and everybody, you know, pretty much he had a lot of money going on him. But at the end of the day, you knew what Doug sent that horse out there to do, and it wasn't out there to just show up for a Derby race. It was to go out there and win the race. And that's exactly what the horse did. And we could all say that, you know, Hot Rod Charlie is an improving horse, but I think that he just took advantage of a light field, and that's exactly what good trainers do to get into a race like this. Sometimes you got to go away from the big boys at Santa Anita and just go down there to Louisiana real quick and go get an easy 300,000. You know what I mean? So, you know, and that's exactly, and you know what? A lot of people have to understand. I think Exaggerator didn't take that role in there, but there was another Kent the Sormo horse that ran in the Derby who took that angle as well too. Louisiana Derby was the winner and wound up coming back back out into the didn't do much in the Kentucky Derby, but you saw that it helped that horse out a lot, and it gives the owners the confidence to put the money up to get that horse down the road, to get that horse to Churchill Downs.
Here, I'm going to make this last point, and I'll give it up to my Uncle Dave for closing remarks. So I also created a first turn picture projection. This is how I see it going into the first turn. I think Medina Spirit's going to be in a good spot, close to the lead on the rail. Midnight Bourbon's going to be there, and then in that 3-path is my boy, Rock Your World, and I have him squared because I think he's going to be the winner. I have the triangle set on the horses I believe have a good chance to show in this race. And then the circled horses on the outside are my horses I think can get up for second. So if I had to play a straight trifecta, I would single the 15. I'd put 14, 18, 20 to come in second, and then 8, 9, 3, 1 in third. And that ticket probably costs you $15 to $20. So go ahead, Theo Dave. Last closing remarks.
So since we're drawing up our bets right here, this is kind of the way my bet would look. I don't know if you guys could see that. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Not really. Yeah. So basically, I'm going to take a speed horse. And the speed horses I like are 9, Flavian Pratt, and 15 and 19. And then I'm going to put my essential quality in each one of those. And then I'm going to add my two closers, which I like the same closers as you. I like 18 and 20. And so that's the way I'm going to roll that up. And then I'm going to take my speed horse and put him in the second spot.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So just in case that speed horse doesn't hang on and it gets past in the stretch, I have that too. So
you're going to single the 19, the 15, and the 9 as a top horse, and then you're throwing 3 horses behind them?
Yes, and then I'm going to put that horse that I keyed on top, I'm going to put him in the second spot too, just in case he can't hang on.
Good deal.
And that costs you, let's see, each one of those costs you $36
total, or so what?
So that's a dollar if you want to play it a trifecta, and if you want to play it a superfecta, it's the same price for $1.
So it's $12 per ticket.
That's right, per ticket.
Okay.
So each one. So if you take one, if you put that one speed horse on top, it costs you $6 with the other 3 horses.
Yeah.
And then you put them in second, it costs you another $6. So each one is $12. So that's kind of the way I'm going to build my trifecta.
Well, good deal. Thanks for all the viewers for tuning in today on Derby Talk. And, we kind of broke down this race, and, we'll see if there's still going to be any scratches or any other late changes to this one. But so far, it's a 20-horse field, a lot of value, a lot of long shots. I think Essential Quality is being a little bit, I think they're slightly overrating him, man. I think he hasn't seen the type of dogs that, are coming into this race from the West Coast. Some of these other horses, it's going to be tough, man. 2-1 is very generous in my opinion. And I'm just going to say, I think Essential Quality is going to get caught up in traffic. I think that's how the race is going to pan out. I think Rock Your World's going to be in that 3-path, forwardly placed, and Essential Quality is going to get stuck behind a wall of horses. That's what I see happening. And if he proves me wrong, he's a great horse.
Let me say one thing there, boss. There's a lot of experts out there, and they know a lot of things. But if I can give you advice out there in the regular world, you got to bet with your heart. You got to bet with your heart, because when your horse goes by and you didn't bet with your heart, those are the worst races.
Rock Your World, baby. That's what you said. Let's go.
Whatever you do, bet with your heart, man.
Hey, Pop, you said he was going to romp. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, I've been heavy on this horse since we walked into the Derby and everything, called it on my show and everything like that. And, everybody was like, well, you got to be Medina Spirit, or Erden horse, but no, it's not going to work like that because John Sadler's been a straight killer for the last few years. Let's just go back. This is just a growing pattern. You know, all started with Accelerate when he smashed Arrogant and San Diego and literally just ended his career. And he was supposed to be the richest racehorse of all time. You know what I mean? So it's been in the making, and I think this is going to be Sadler's biggest moment. And Ron McNally is very confident behind him as well too. Hall of Fame trainer that's rocking with you as well as the owner, so you don't have the headache of a corporation or some antsy people who don't understand and just are just novice of the sport. No, he has another horseman that's backing him, and everything just makes all sense in the world that this horse can win this race just because simply the horse just has all those qualities to him. And it just doesn't know how to lose. And when the horse just doesn't know how to lose, then hey, you got to rock with him. And I know why you say that about essential quality. He didn't look great in the Bluegrass. He had to fight to win that race.
Bluegrass is also a grade 2. Not many people take note of that.
Right. Exactly. And then the 2-year-old class wasn't as good as it was as advertised. A lot of these horses started performing as 3-year-olds back in January. You know what I mean? They weren't 2-year-olds overhyped at Keeneland and Santa Anita and Del Mar. They popped up, you know, maiden special weights on opening day at Santa Anita, or maybe the first of the month, and have progressed into being great horses because of that. And you love a horse that's maturing at 3 years old instead of a horse that, you know, he's looking really good at 2, and then he gets to being 3 years old and he winds up being kind of a burnout after a while because you've been running him way too much since he was a 2-year-old. Now he's running as a 3-year-old, and it's really the horse is almost breaking down as each race out because you're overrunning the horse. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. And that's why a lot of us have our sketches on essential quality, because 2-year-olds don't progress that well. You know what I mean? He's doing well, but the way he won that race, those are when horses are starting to go into a regression. And we've all seen it plenty of times, you know, when you're barely winning races. So we'll see how it shakes out. We'll see how it goes on Saturday.
Thanks for tuning in, people. Make sure you subscribe and hit the like button on this. Coming at you with some Derby talk. Last thing I'll say, the last post, or Joel Rosario won the Derby once before. And Theo Dave, guess what post position he broke from?
Number 15.
Let's go, baby.
How did I guess?
Hey, thanks for tuning in, viewers. And Pop, appreciate you coming on the show. Thanks for coming on the show, Uncle Dave. We'll chat soon.
All right.
Absolute blast with you, brother.
Thank you, man. Make sure you tune in the Pop Show, everybody. Peace.